My father, um, may he rest in peace, was a physician trained in England. And it is training, I believe, in 51, 52, something like that. Maybe a bit earlier than that. So right smack in the middle of the movement to national health. And anyway, he's some years ago, maybe 15 years ago, a friend of mine in England was having some heart problems, and his wife, who was my closer friend to me, said, "Would you ask your dad about stents?" And I said, "Absolutely." And my father said, "Well, let me speak to them." So he called them up and he said, "Stents are absolutely fine." The problem was that they had seen somewhere online, they had done their online healthcare that people do. You Google your heart condition, and something had been said about stents and stuff like that. Anyway, the point being that my father said, "Are you on the national health, or do you have private health insurance?" And my friend said, "Oh no, I'm on the national health." And he said, "Good, because you can trust your doctors." So David Frum, today, famous person, quote, "The truth is often paywalled while the lies are always free." End quote. My God, what a staggering and meaningless arrogance. Worse than arrogance, a most obvious of lies. Take off that tie, you cur. You don't belong even among that weak and sallow tribe you call journalists. You are paywalled. You're at the Atlantic. Socrates had no paywall, and he knew why. He was no sophist, or amazingly, truth you pay for is the one you can trust. You cretin. You're all shook up about the crudity of the discourse on social media. Give them a minute. They have been voiceless for several thousand years. It'll take a minute. And the example of you lot, I remember I dropped in a couple of years ago on a Twitter spat. Super famous stuffed shirts called each other Pee-Pee Kakamumu heads. I don't remember both combatants, but one was called Dershowitz. You're all such frauds. My latest explanation that in a culture so impotent, so unuseful, that its most illustrious members are in a froth to show you how important and famous they are, because they are really nothing, and they know it. Nothing except once in a while rich. Rich by selling ideas that as many people as possible can agree with behind an effing paywall. The stipulation, as many people as possible can agree with, which is not arable land for any kind of truth. Crouton. You sit there aging, bleary-eyed and paunchy, trying hard to stay relevant, arguing against the extremists on both sides. Mediocre dispassion is extremist, my friend. It might place you plush on some golden WC, but it serves no one but you and your golden ass. Opinionators, PMCs, who do nothing but blab inanities. If you define the successful extremists of your day as out of touch because they disagree with you, who gets to laugh loudest? Claiming a liberal democracy employs such blowhards as a bell tolling not for me. The truth is often paywalled while the lies are always free. Who is it that nods at this obvious statement of the elitism that is America? So it's one of those interesting things, isn't it? Which I have banged about before. Doesn't matter, I'm banging against the wind. But what it seems, I'm not reading anybody, probably Chomsky's addressed it in some fashion. But if you continue to develop an economy where the people who will become the most successful will find their way to that success, which is financial success, through doing nothing, through investing, through speculating in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or what have you. I don't care. Investing in ocean liners, the gas guzzlers of the day, whatever it is that you think, if you take away the relationship between the meaning of work to most of us, to many of us. I'm sorry, America, if you're miserable at work, that's your issue. Stop it. That's your problem. You know, when I was 15 or 16, I think, my brother said to me, he was a couple of years younger than I am, so he was 13 or 14. He said, if you're bored at work, that's on you. If you find work unenjoyable, unproductive, unmeaningful, that is on you. Now, a society that's unbridled, that's let loose from that level of responsibility, accounting for self-accountability, you know, that word, accountability. When you go to work, you have a responsibility to do it well. You actually have a responsibility to enjoy it and make it meaningful. And if it isn't, then address that problem. It's not a union problem because it's not really about you being treated fairly. It's not about you being earning more money. That's not what it is. It's about the dignity of work and the dignity of life. Now, answer me one thing. When you look at all of these famous people you see surrounding you, your Elon Musks, your Donald Trumps, your whoever you're looking at, tell me you see dignity. Because if you do, look it up in the dictionary because you're not looking at it. You're looking at frippery. You're looking at vacancy. You're looking at emptiness. And that is going forwards. That is an issue. You know, try and talk to rich people or people who are trying to sell you Bitcoin madly on Instagram. They are utterly, utterly vacant human beings. Look at my car. Look at these places I go on vacation. Isn't this awesome? And when I make a lot of money, what I want to do is to help the children. It's literally like they're all Miss Universe, Miss America contestants. That's the rich. That's who they are. And no wonder they get angry all the time. They don't really know why they're angry. They just get angry about stuff because they're meaningless. There's no meaning in their lives. And, you know, my tolerance for, as anybody who listens regularly knows, my tolerance for monotheism is minimal. But it's on them. It really is on them. You know, if you create meaning out of just sheer mumbo jumbo, then, you know, the natural human capacity to see bullshit will revolt. And when the human condition sees bullshit, all you've got left is faith. The only control mechanism you have is faith and fear and your wretched unity. It's just, you know, I've read a lot. I read a lot at times. I've read and speculated a lot about history. And I cannot think of an age where more vacuous, gaseous ideas and values have had more purchase than today. I'm not Spartan. I don't think it's because we live in too much luxury or any of those kinds of things. I just think we have a massive capacity for bollocks. Like David Frum and his, and who did he bring on? Rahm Emanuel. I mean, can you imagine these two old farts sitting there holding forth about values? Just ludicrous. Anyway.